Hi, I got to try the Vision Pro, and it is so interesting to try it, because for someone like me, you've always been super interested in Apple products and just tech in general, and gosh, you don't actually get Vision Pro yet. Like, you may, if you're anything like me, you think you do, right? You've watched Dub 23 thousands of times. You've watched hundreds of hours of it. You've watched the Vision Pro 40-minute section, like, millions of times, basically. You've watched every commercial. You've listened to every YouTuber get their Vision Pro, talk about their Vision Pro, write their reviews. But let's be honest here, you really don't get it yet. It is so interesting of a product that it doesn't get its justice until you try it on. So I got to try it on. So, you may be wondering, what's it actually like? Well, let me tell you. So, my reservation was at 6 p.m. At February 7th at my local mall Apple store, and the type was a vintage D. If you know, you know. So I get there, and they were like, "Hi, welcome to the Apple Store, how can I help you?" And I was like, "Hi, I'm here for my Vision Pro demo." And they were like, "What's your name?" And I was like, "Paul." And they basically, like, walked on up, and they were like, "Hi, I'm gonna be your demo person." And I was like, "Awesome." And it's so interesting, before that person came up to me, their name was Mary Jo, by the way, who, like, did my demo. The person getting my name was, like, talking with my dad, who had accompanied me. Because I can't drive yet, and they were like making small talk about what it is, and they're like, "Ooh, my son's like super interested in this," and he was like, "Oh, he should be, because this is super duper cool." And they were talking about like Vision OS and what it's like, and I pointed at the forum wall behind the video screen behind the store, and they were like, the employee was like, "That does not do it justice," and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be okay." So the Mary Jo comes up, and they're like, "All right, let's go to the demo table." And as we were walking there, the employees were like, "Woo! You should be excited." And I was like, "Have fun." And I was like, "Okay." And so we get to the demo table, and we make some small talk first, and she was like, "Have you tried on the Vision Pro before?" And I was like, "Nope, I'm very excited." And she was like, "That's great, it is super cool, and I think you're gonna love it. So we're gonna take your glasses, and we're gonna run them through our lens machine, and that's going to scan your prescription, and then we're gonna put that prescription information back in the back, and then they will make a Vision Pro for you to try on with that prescription." And I was like, "Awesome." Jumping ahead a bit, the prescription worked really well. Like, I couldn't even notice that my glasses weren't there. So it works really well. The Zeiss lens machine is really good. So if you had any doubts about that, you should, as a fellow glasses user, it does really well. At least for my prescription. My right eye is totally fucked up, and my left eye could be better. So we get there. We get with our Vision Pro, and they bring it out on a cute little wooden tray, and then they tell me how to do all the gestures. They tell me how to do the pinch, how to do the scroll, how to do the scrolling on the side, and how to pinch and zoom out. Let me tell you, it is really intuitive. It's kind of an interesting thing, because when you get inside, like the Photos app, for example, the tap is easy enough, like it's just a tap of your fingers, but for your brain, it's kind of like so instead of a tap on my phone, it's a tap here, you know? Instead of a scroll on a touchscreen, it's a scroll on here. So it's like your brain kind of like adds a little bit of context to what it is, if that makes sense. Like, it takes a little bit of... Vision Pro itself takes a bit of processing power of your brain to understand, but it's not a lot, and it is very intuitive. Like, you can kind of tell they tried a lot of things to make it work. So they have me, that's jumping ahead, I don't want to get ahead of myself. So they eventually have me put it on, and let me tell you, the weight is something. Like, it's not unbearably heavy as some people talk about, but it's also not light. You put it on your head, and it feels pretty standard, like a VR headset at first. But oh boy, oh goodness, it is very heavy after a few minutes.
You like it?
Yeah, it's actually quite comfortable. How does this fit?
But it's that's after like a while of putting it on and moving around and stuff, because otherwise it's a normal VR headset weight. It's not gonna kill you. That is something to keep in mind as you book your demo in the US, but you know, there's that. So basically after that, they have you hold the digital crown up here to realign the actual lenses inside so it can match your eyes, and they have you try the lighting with the look around and tap the dots. And it's super cool too, because the sound, all the sound matches with what kind of lighting and what dot you're pointing at is. It's super cool, it's a neat touch. And they also have you scan your hands, I'm sure you've seen those. And then after a while, the 3D hello appears on the table. And it is super neat. Like, it's like that one opening scene in the April 2021 Apple event, but like not rainbow gradient and a lot slower. But it's pretty much that. It's super neat and super cute. And then after that, you're on the home view. And it's like, I imagined that it wasn't gonna matter where it was gonna be like a normal, every time it's gonna be like 6 feet ahead of you, kinda small. No, it's like, it matches your space. And it like kind of sits 3 feet ahead of you on the table, at least for me. And it was super intriguing. And then sort of after that, they had me try out like environments, which were really neat. And it was super cool to actually see like Mount Hood, just like there. Like I'm standing in where everyone else has stood in. It was Mount Hood. And the water reflections were really realistic also, like wow. And there was like a bit of pitter-patter of rain. And it was like, Photos was kind of floating right there. It wasn't like as dramatic as I was expecting it to be, like, wow, Photos is like floating right there. No, it's like, Photos is just floating right there. Like, it's really neat. And they had me like pull out the home view to try out like moving windows around, and they were like, look at all these windows you can have. And I was like, wow, yeah, I can have all these windows. And they showed me like Safari. Safari's pretty good. I'm more of an Arc browser user myself. Let's go Arc. But shout out to the browser company. But man, like it was really neat. And I think I'm more of a computer laptop guy, but I think I could see myself watching like some YouTube videos in there, like scrolling Safari. I could be scrolling Safari on the moon. I don't know. But that was neat. And then they had me close everything, and then they had me watch 3D movies, and oh gosh, I really wanted to like 3D movies. I didn't see it. I did not see the 3D. And I don't know if it's just me, or maybe, I know the Mario movie is 3D. I know it's 3D, but I didn't see it. I mean, there were like moments where I was like, huh, I guess that's 3D. I don't know. But I didn't feel it. Do you know what I did feel though? It was so cool otherwise. Like, I seriously sat down, like as I was wearing it, I will reenact it for you. I could watch 3D movies in this all day. Bro, no joke. It felt so cool. Like the room kind of dimmed. I didn't even notice. The room like kind of dimmed. I could see the reflections of it on the table a little bit. Like they were kind of but I could see it. And it felt like I was just watching a movie on the Vision Pro. And I could see a lot of people just using this for movie watching, because it feels really cool. And without all the hassle of like a TV and going through a remote, it's just so neat. And then afterwards, spoilers for the ending, but I guess, I don't know. But they had me also try Apple Immersive Video. And I could definitely see why they chose that for last, because it felt so cool to actually see what it was. Because after Dub, after you're kind of like, oh, what's Apple Immersive Video? What's that? It's like 3D 180 degree 8K clips. Huh, how cool. I wonder what that's like. It is really neat, guys, because like it's like completely 180 degrees. It feels like one of those MetaQuest 2 180 degree videos, but like more high quality. But it feels like Alicia Keys was just like singing like 3 feet like in front of me, and I was like, oh, hi Alicia Keys, I guess, hello. And then they showed me a bunch of other things. They showed me the tightrope like adventure clip. Wow, that was neat. My mom and brother had come out to this time and were watching me, and they were like, wow, look at that, now he's on a tightrope. And I was like, uh-huh. And there was one where there was the wildlife scene, and one of the little things they showed was a rhino coming up to the camera. And bro, my brain kind of skipped a beat for a second, because I was like, oh, hello. It was like right there. It was like walking up to you, and it felt real, but like, you know it's not real, but you're like, have a little fun, brain, because like, it's there. And it kind of left me speechless afterwards. And I think after that moment, I finally understood what the Vision Pro was. It's not a real product yet, but it's a glimpse. The Vision Pro is a glimpse into our future, because until now we haven't really understood what the future really holds for us, because honestly, we don't really have the kind of stuff, at least technology-wise, to like see it happen. Like Google Glass was a thing that tried to happen, you know. The Unreal Air is happening, but they're not. They're either dead in the ground or could be way better. But I really think that the Apple Vision Pro is, to borrow a quote from John Prosser, this is a foot in the door. This is our moment. This is our moment. This is where the magic happens. This is where the legend is born of this was the start of the next generation of technology. This is our 2007 iPhone moment. This is where everything changes. And you can take that from someone who's tried it already. But, you know, if you get the chance, I highly, highly, highly recommend, if you live in the US, to go try it at some point in your life, because it is an experience you will not regret one bit.